telling me earlier.
So I love speaking, I love being in front of people and entertaining them, seeing them laugh. And so on one hand, I want to be as engaging as I possibly can. And that really involves me bringing out all the stops and moving around the stage, using those pauses that we've talked about, really getting into the emotion and the energy of it. And on the other hand, I really want to be real. And I really want to be able to tune in with all of this that's inside me and all of this that's inside everybody else. And I feel like we're all connected, and it's like this fabric of the universe where we're all part of that. And that if I hold any part of myself back, it's like twisting or torsioning the fabric, and that torsions the fabric of others. And so who am I to hold something back and hold someone else who's part of my fabric back? So that's where I've had this duality, where I really want to be as engaging and as enthusiastic and as excited and as joyful as I know that I can be, but I also want to be fucking real.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's demonstrate a double extreme between the side that you have more energy at first to be out there, it's like your outer persona, and then when I go like this, or say switch, let's see you in the same situation feel what it's like with all the challenges of being real. Now you'd be communicating to a group or a single person or what, so we can have it clear who it is you're talking to. So we can have that part be the part that doesn't change.
It's really audiences, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So this is an audience, you are an audience, and so just letting yourself be as fun as you like, sometimes wild and funny at the same time. Do you have any problem with acting outrageous?
No, I think the more outrageous, like, the more comfortable
I was hoping you'd say that. So I happen to have with me my very own Jester's hat that I've worn for decades. That has gone through a lot of performances. Please put on my Jester's hat. And
oh my goodness.
This is a chance for you to be as silly. Actually, looks good on you.
Why did I say yes to that? Can I have it like that?
So just let her rip for only about 20 seconds to a minute, having more fun than you've ever had in your life up to now. The audience is ready. Go!
I don't even know if I can bring that, but what I really am excited to tell everybody is that you just have to get into yourself, and it really doesn't matter how fucking hard it is. The thing is, when you're really passionate about something, all you have to do is bring it out. And it doesn't matter if you end up like lying on the floor and totally like owning it from there. When you really own something, people can feel it on the inside.
Stop, and now come over to this side without the hat, and here, just being real. Yeah. Why is it here? Because you shared this with me earlier, yeah. It's challenging for you, because you were talking about being real here, yeah. In an outrageous way. Yeah. Now let's see where the challenge is about being real, speaking to the same audience, but from a place of where you actually have been feeling pulled back. Let's see what happens here. Go. Yeah. The challenge is,
when you have that excitement, you can be out here and you can kind of distract people with things over here and things over here, and you can wiggle out of it and you don't have to feel it. And so if I really want to feel it, then that's where the words go.
And this is good, because in this place where the words go, the gestures take over. The gesture, the shaking, the tears coming out is such a powerful statement. If the words could speak that matches the sensations in your shaking, in the eyes right now, in the gesture, what would these say if they could be put into words? Just matches the feeling that you're having in the shaking and the tearing. My tears could speak, they would say.
You're so brave.
You're so brave. You're so brave. Yeah, yeah. This is good. This is good.
This is what love looks like.
It's like you couldn't share more deeply and authentically and vulnerably than this. From where you are, like if you could, to lead us in a bit of an exercise, just where you are, simply saying these words out loud, and we're going to say the same to her in return, saying these words after me. My vulnerability is my strength.
Sometimes it doesn't feel like that.
I know, but right now it's mine. Whether it feels like that or not, the part of this exercise that's important, this is the acting as though we pay performers huge sums of money to act out the emotions that a lot of us are terrified. Here you are, sharing with richness and depth and authenticity the depths of your feeling. And so, if you could say it as though you meant it, my vulnerability is my strength. Let's hear how that sounds and what it looks like.
My vulnerability is my strength.
Saying it back to her in return.
Your vulnerability is your strength.
Sharing my caring is my strength.
Sharing my caring is my strength.
Sharing your caring is your strength.
My tenderness is my strength.
My tenderness is my strength.
Your tenderness is your strength.
My heartfelt humanity is my developing strength.
The heart of humanity is what I tune into. And I have to go all the way out. And anything less than that isn't enough. And that's where I'm developing my strength.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Just take a deep breath in. And what I'd like to do in just a moment now, it's just, you've been sharing so much, just to stand here and receive from us what we have saw and felt and heard, because you've just opened up this whole room to the depth of places that many of us would never get to. You've done that. You've shown us the courage. So, in just a moment, take a deep breath, everyone, just to feel what's just been shown and revealed to you. And now simply standing here in front of us all and receiving from us how this has touched you, your own world in some way. That was challenging for you, that was easy for you, yet in moving to that challenge, something really beautiful happened. And from this place of simple feeling, let's receive. Have you received people's comments? Speaking up and coming to stand if you're able to be seen, that would be great. Thank you.
You wanted to be in control as a performer, and over here you opened yourself up to channel everything that was possible without knowing where it would go, and that scared you, but you finally understood that that was actually what your power was.
How beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Keep receiving. Come up, yes, as you have a comment. Take your time. You need to hear this. This is what's the doctor ordered.
Yeah, when you were performing, I was admiring that, because that's something which I struggle with. You were mesmerizing. But when you stepped into your vulnerability, that really touched me. And it's like I felt I saw your soul, and I feel really safe, because I see a beautiful soul with just love.
Thank you.
You
showed me and demonstrated what vulnerability is, and what I got was vulnerability is being fearless in spite of being fearful at the same time. And when you were vulnerable, you allowed me to be vulnerable, sitting there with my own stuff, so I could not help but receive you and your message and your love and your gifts.
Thank you.
So, when you were performing, there was like a great admiration there, and you engaged me, and it was funny, and I felt really joyful. And I love your charisma. However, when you're on this side, there are so many talented people that can do that. But there's not that many people that can actually open their heart so wide and truly be seen. And so when you see that, it's like a bolt in here, and that's just true, and it engages you on a much more deeper, less superficial level, because you hardly ever see that before. It's a gift. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who else? What else? Please come up.
What I received from you was the moment after you'd finished being vulnerable and letting it all out. That playful, childish giggle that you feel when you do release these things, and that for me is a reminder of what happiness is, and being vulnerable is the way to get there. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You're getting to like that side now, aren't you? You're getting so much feedback. The whole purpose of this exercise now, this portion where you're receiving, because you gave so much, is so that from what people saw and felt and heard, that you can receive empowering and nurturing and supportive feedback in tangible, physical, measurable ways that reaches all of the senses. So this becomes the new default program, the new self-talk anchored in your muscle memory. So this is what you come from. And you can still be playful and outrageous out there, yet with this is more of the anchor. This is what's real. You know, no longer having to struggle with that being your heartfelt humanity as well as the heart of humanity. It was really interesting how you heard my words, because I think you might have heard me say,
I did,
and
yeah.
you did it. I loved how you changed it. This is what's even more important, that you took a stand and you made it even more personal. How beautiful. Who else that hasn't shared coming up? Yep, Ben.
When you were doing the performing, and then when you transitioned over to here, and you made a really clear point that I got to see and ask myself a question: where am I doing this in my life? And what you said is, all the performing, all the sparkles, everything that goes on is just a distraction. And with distracting people, it's very easy. You never have to really show your true self. There's always a get out clause, and I can be quite slippery and like that. And so I really got to see, and now asking myself, where do I do that in my life? Where do I actually honour myself and what I've got to give for people?
Yeah.
And I just saw how much vulnerability and what was available when you actually just stop and say, hey, this is me, it's okay. And yeah, allow people in.
Thank you.
Thank you, you can do it.
We have another comment from someone. Oh, sure.
When on this side, I felt kind of a wall. When you were on this side being real, I was deeply touched, and I felt a connection with you and your message right into my heart. Very good. Thank you.
We're celebrating a wet-eyed glory here. You've touched all of our souls so deeply. So beautiful. Good. All right. Do you have it? Is that it? No. All right. So there's one more comment, one or two, and then we're going to move on. How did this touch you, Keith?
Oh well, when you were over here, you start, when you were crying, you said, is this what love feels like? Full of tears, but joy as well. So to me, joy doesn't necessarily mean ha 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 or happy. It means something completely different. So that's what I was getting from that you're full of love, but almost like a mother after having given birth.
How beautiful.
Yep. Oh.
And one more comment before we move on. Yes?
When we were doing what you were doing before, I didn't feel the connection, but I know what you're doing because that's how I was doing it. Until when you come here, when you're lost for words, it's the same. It's how I'm lost for words. So the connection of the feelings are there, but I can't express. So it's very difficult for me to actually come out here to tell you how much I acknowledge you, your strength, your courage, your authenticity, your person, you. Thank you.
So welcome. Well done. Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at this. Wow, that was so amazing.
Yeah.
It was so amazing to watch. Thank you so much for letting me see that.
How beautiful. And receiving so much support. People who've seen you, now you feel seen and heard and felt perhaps more than you ever thought you could be. Our next section, in just a moment, we're going to now then come to your declaration as to here's my takeaway, here's what I learned from this experience that I always will remember from now on. And we'll do that right after the break. Now we're returning from the break. What powerful breakthrough that was. I had a feeling in inviting you to come here today for the show that this is exactly what would happen. I could see it before. But tell me what sits with you. What did you learn from that that's your takeaway, both from your own presence station as well as in the receiving of so much feedback that helps you feel seen? From now on,
From now on, I don't have to try. Everything I have, it's all there. It's all there already. There's nothing I have to wrestle with or break down or let out, because it's already all there. And all of that, the story of stuckness or being unable to, or feeling like you need to break through something, or like that old pattern or habit or story, that's also a story. That's the story of having a story that you need to break down. But if you are actually able to stand there and it's not comfortable, it's not easy. It's probably like the hardest thing that you can do. But if you can, then there's nothing else to do.
now coming back to yourself, because you saw you listen to the I.
I'm just me.
Yeah.
From now on, I'm me.
Yeah, from now on, me, I don't have to do anything to change. And the greatest learning, the greatest takeaway from this you said it so well when you said this is what love feels like. You know, you couldn't say more than that, better than that. It's covered everything. And when you went like this a moment ago, it was really clear, because we started this exercise, as you can remember. On the one hand, I try to perform. On the other hand, I don't have to. Now putting your hands together with the best of both. Right. From now on,
From now on, I'm not doing that from an acting place. From now on, I'm expressing the love that I have and the love that I want to give.
let's give you a big hand. You have such a beautiful heart. I wanted to do a little bit more of the hugging on the left side because there's more heart on our left side. A very purposeful, conscious hug. How beautiful. You've touched all of our hearts and souls. Now, as you sit down, we're going to have a bit of a wrap up of what has been seen by our professional rapper that's also here on stage with us today to do a free association as to what we thought and saw, and then we'll finish it off finally with a little bit of how this touched your lives in some way, how this gave you, with that point, the example being with this exercise, and how it applies to you. What was this for you in learning about speaking? So wrapping it up now. Bless you. Bless you. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Justin Cunningham.
That was a big one. Okay. It's really easy for me to sparkle in my presentation and to be an amalgamation of amazing. But it's all just tricks and mystery and a little bit of clever phrasing. When truly in my art and my path, I want to step into a place where I can expose my soul, my power and my heart. The universe comes into me and this is just the start. Imagine the next step in my path. If that was control and cool and tools, and yes, I know what to do and I've broken all the rules, but over here there's no rules, no guide, no vibe, there's just me alive connecting to some others. So now I'm all power, all sister, all woman, all man, all others, all people, all universe, all power, all universal. In 1 minute I'll give you the power I've got, and it'll be just enough for you to realize that I'm the definition of hot.
A wonderful wrap up. You remember earlier when we were going through some of the descriptions of the cycle of communication as we focus the camera here on the principle, the example, always ends with an application. When you're speaking and you're sharing your message and voice with the world, it's great to share your point. It's great to be an example, a presence, a presentation. Yet unless it connects with you, the audience, what's in it for you, the application, it doesn't quite make the full impact, effectiveness, and engagement that's possible. You did. And let's hear from you now, just a couple of you, how this impacted you from the place of being a communicator. What I learned about speaking, what I learned about presenting, about thinking, about being myself. How did this connect to you? Anyone? For yourself. Come on up, please, Keith.
Yeah, for my story, when I share it, I think I'm approaching it from an enjoyment perspective, but truly some parts of my story weren't enjoyable at all, so I'll probably have to step into that space in my presentations because, you know, I had 4 little kids and another one on the way, and it was an awful time.
And for you feeling the permission and encouragement to share your vulnerability is such a powerful gift. It goes from one to the other. Bless you, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Who else? What else? Anyone else? Yes. Mike.
So what I take away was, over here you're in control, and I like to be in control. And when you stepped into vulnerability, you're lost for words, and that terrifies me. And yet I know that I need to be prepared to let go of control in order to deeply connect, be seen.
Yes, and one more comment before we complete for today's show.
Next year I'm calling on my Creative Supernova tribe worldwide to join me in my message, and I too have to step into a place where I'm more vulnerable and not controlled and step into my heart-based stuff. And so there are just so many parallels with this. I know how to look cool and be on stage and be funny and entertaining, and yet the reality is I've got to step into this power. And just following on from what Mike said, you know, and one of the things that I've learned on this journey is that your fear is actually an indicator of the gateway to your evolution.
Now this is very interesting that you're standing here right now, because I'd like to end today's show with asking you to do something that perhaps you haven't done before. We've asked you to wrap up everyone else's. Now I'm going to ask you to wrap up what you just shared, stepping into that zone you just described.
I call bullshit, bullshit business, bullshit lies, bullshit people, bullshit schools, bullshit tools. Bullshit, I call bullshit. Why? Because I'm all I need to be. As my friend just saw, but for me as an MC, I'm a white guy doing black music. That doesn't make sense. I rode a skateboard till I was 30. That doesn't make sense. I'm a rapper and I'm not 50 Cent. I don't need the money, honeys or cars. I'm sick of the bullshit and the so-called persona of superstars. I'm superstar universal. I am supernova. That's why I'm calling them all out. I'm giving them all permission. Fuck single jobs and single lives and single careers and being married and having the whole full picture. Forget about that stuff. It's time for us to get the pin in our pitch and poke this blister. Expose it all, vulnerable and heart, the path of my art. I'll carve it all. Trust me, in 8 months I'll be standing in front of 1,000 people in Toronto and full of a hall. And they'll all be seeing the true power of a supernova. We're exploding stars. That's all I've got for you. My message is over.
As we wrap up the wrap and all that has been shared here just now, how beautiful to share such deep, vulnerable, exquisite sharing. Couldn't get deeper. This is love. Tears in my eyes as well. Somewhat speechless, but I'm going to take it a bit further before we close today's show. So this gives you a little bit of a sense of what's possible, that ordinary people making extraordinary steps to taking a stand for what matters the most in our lives. What a difference we can make when we take this stand and allow ourselves to be seen, heard, and felt. For anyone out there that also would like to have this opportunity to have what you're ready to move through, be seen and witnessed, to take a stand, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your lover, your business, a command for what you'd like to see happen in this world at large. This is an opportunity for you too. Please let us know, and we would love to bring you, your voice out into the world and your message as you've dreamed possible. Thank you so much, all of you. Without you being here, the courage to be vulnerable like this, we couldn't have this show. A big hand for